These flashcards, I'm going to find out what happened to Leo cusp Cancer in 2020. Okay. She left some stuff out. I left some stuff out of what I saw in the other reading, just to keep some people safe. All right. Okay, so it was a lot. I saw a lot more in those cards from 2019 than. Maybe we'll do some clarification later on the details of 2019, but for now, 2020. Well, let's see here. The Queen of Wands, Leo cusp Cancer was doing okay. All right, she's starting to heal, and still energy weapons all of 2019. Well, I won't tell you what happened. It's all on Twitter if they haven't stolen it. Because I see a lot of theft here. They want the Queen of Wands identity and cloned phones, cloned accounts, cloned voice technology. Wow, who is like the beast? In fact, you could be doing these readings. They could be putting someone else's face and stealing it before you even get it out there. Why even bother, Queen of Wands? So they wanted you back in the hospital knowing you knew all about it. So they sent you kids in gimp suits while radiating you and using sound frequencies to crack your brain. So you put a pillowcase over your head and you cried for 3 days. They're raping kids in gimp suits. And then they said, that's what we're going to do to your kids. And your mother was in an operation. You better go take the death drug clozapine. We're going to do that to your children and kill your mother in an operation. So you voluntarily took a drug you knew you had 4 years to live on. And you drew as a last resort for schizophrenia, which you don't have. Okay. Clarification. No schizophrenia. So you went in, okay, and there was another Nazi doctor, all right, who knew exactly what was going on. And after 2 weeks of being there, when they wake you up every 2 hours to make sure you're alive when they first administer it, okay, a voice you thought was God said, you're falling for the savior games again. Your kids need you to live. Leave. So you left. And they were still doing all this stuff above your head, which you were recording. You're chasing them down all 2019. Zappity zap, zap, zap. All right, so the health nurse calls, who's a part of it as well, and drives an electric car. Yeah, she likes to make stuff up too. She calls and says, come back in, we have to withdraw you. And I said, hey, I was only on it for 2 weeks and I come back in. Okay, well, it's voluntary. 2 days later, the police show up. You're under the Mental Health Act and you've got it on camera and they smash the phone out of your hand. And they put you back in the hospital. Then Terminator 2 shows up, your ex-narc. And he says, you want to get married at the time. And he was like, being the good guy now. They're like, what are you doing to her? And they said, we have a place for her to go. All right? We have a place for her to go. Because she cried out to one doctor and said, I'm choking on my spit in the middle of the night. I think I'm going to die, and crawling to the bathroom. And they were treating her horribly in there. Horribly. That place is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And the doctors, I said, ethically, you can't do that. When someone says I'm having an adverse effect to a medication, you must take them off. So he cut it in half, and he was going to take you off of it. But the Nazi psychiatrist said we're putting it up to 800 milligrams of clozapine, which is unheard of. So the Terminator fought with him. And I said, we're going to federal court. He said, we have a place for you, which was the mental institution. We're going to get rid of you and all the evidence. All right. So you went to the mental institution. They really knew that in a court of law, they couldn't get away with this because you're too sane. So they said, they made a deal. Call in. There's tons of money being involved here. People being paid off, So with the money they made off of her, yeah, they made so much money off her, she just wouldn't take it. She was on the deep web. So they tried doing sound frequency harassing because at the mental hospital, they are all rigged up with it. Yeah, she figured that out. So she starts handing out, the tree of the knowledge of good and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life to all the patients. They start reading the Bible and they're like, oh no, we got to get her out of here. All right. So everyone starts becoming Christian or looking for the light. Okay. I would say believers because Christianity right nowadays, what a gong show. Okay. So, what does the psychiatrist say to the Queen of Wands? She says, we're going to give you a shot and then let you go. And I said, in a federal court, this would never, you can't do this in federal court. She said, we're not in federal court, dear. So I didn't let anybody know where I was. Didn't want to drag any of my friends into this, unless they get hurt. I called my friends because I didn't know if they were going to turn me into a robot or if I die and they replace me. I wasn't quite sure. Oh, the Queen of Wands, I mean. All right. So, who is an empress, actually. She's been through all the cards. All right, so they let her out. They gave her a shot and let her out. But it's quite apparent that the shot, which is a class action lawsuit against it still to this day, which they tried on 2021 when Terminator 1 showed up and kidnapped her daughter with a seizure condition and left her all alone all night, trying to get her back in the psych ward so they can keep on committing her. We'll do a spread on that. All right. So she left. Now what's going on? Oh, the mother who spies day and night on every phone call and everything she does. Think she should go back to the hospital because she's telling the truth. Think that's going to work. Like we're not going to court with my sword of truth from the Most High God this time. And all my evidence. I don't need evidence, just the truth. The truth has a lot of power sword. Power sword. All right. And we'll be getting doctors, not in this city, but lawyers' doctors to see, if the damage is there and if there's any bone degeneration. Okay. Maybe a gang assault lawyer. I don't know. She keeps on warning them. But they won't listen. Because she's such a sweetheart, they don't know what she's quite capable of. Like the psychiatrist in 2009, you said, you're unpredictable. One day you're saying you're forgiving me, and the next day you're saying, I'm taking you to federal court for this. Okay, I'll let you know my next script. Leo gang gang.